Tears of the Kingdom is $70, and for a game that runs on the Nintendo Switch's weak hardware, this price increase from the standard $60 isn't justifiable, right? I know many of you guys don't want to pay full price and give Nintendo that extra $10, but there are also people that think this is fine. If you ask me, I might be leaning on to the okay side. Yo, Controller here, and today I'm going to be talking about why the price of Tears of the Kingdom might be alright, and Nintendo's reasoning for doing so. Stick around so that I can give you a more personal take on the situation. Remember to like and subscribe if you really end up enjoying this video. Thank you for listening to my intro, and let's get started. You probably already know this if you're watching this video. Breath of the Wild is not a $60 game. It's in fact worth more than that. The amount of content that the developers put in this game makes this title look like a steal at its price. From the large amounts of shrines and Koroks to collect, and a literal shit ton of explorable areas, this game always has something for you to do. It's like one of those games that when you start playing, you can't stop. Speaking of which, you should watch my Breath of the Wild series by tapping or clicking on the icon at the top right. It's my first time playing Breath of the Wild, and I would love for you to join the ride. Back to the point, the Zelda team really put a new standard for Zelda titles after Breath of the Wild. The combat system is epic, the open world is vast, and get this, Link gets a dedicated jump button, which wasn't the deal before. This was a big risk taken by the Big N, and it massively paid off, because by the time I list off all the awards given to this game, you would click off the video. The game had launched at $60, and it's relatively the same price more or less today. As I have mentioned before, Tears of the Kingdom being $70 is sparking outrage with many fans. What I'm trying to say is that if Tears of the Kingdom can provide the same, if not more content than Breath of the Wild, that is, both games without DLC, in my eyes, it would seem worth it. Before taking a deeper dive into this topic, I would like to set a few parameters that I use to determine whether a game is worth it or not. There are many factors that go into making a game worth it, but for today, I'll focus on the three main points: enjoyment level, hours players put in, and finally, the price. Let's start with the two most important ones, enjoyment level and hours played. This is the most important of the bunch because everything depends on this. Think about it, if the game isn't fun, then many people won't sink as many hours into the game. Also, the price can't be too high if the game is played for too little of a time. For instance, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Why didn't Nintendo release the Bowser's Fury portion as a standalone title? This is because they know that this game isn't very long by itself, and that they need to add more value to the 3D World port from the Wii U, despite Bowser's Fury being an overall really fun experience. You see, with this title, the inclusion of that extra content added worth to the 3D World plus Bowser's Fury package, and made it, in my opinion, worth it. Or you could just throw everything I said out the window if it was priced at $100. Video game pricing is so controversial these days. Back when video games first hit the market in the late 1970s, the price of video games was about $50. But as inflation and other world events took place, by the mid-2000s, $60 games turned out to be the new norm on many titles. Fast forward to more recent times, we see Sony and Microsoft give games another $10 price increase to $70. While there's a good amount of backlash for this decision, there were valid reasons as to why. The launch of the next generation consoles provided better graphics and visuals using the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series lineup of systems. That $10 price increase works because the same games run better on newer systems than their last gen counterparts. Let's take a look at FIFA 23 for example. The game costs $59.99 on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, while it is $69.99 on the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. The game looks visually different across the generations as shown here. And that way, the price is justified. It takes more time and money to build better graphics and visuals to truly provide the best experience for players on the newer consoles. On the other hand, there's Nintendo. Let's just say that they have a different way of doing things. Ever since the Wii, Nintendo has shifted more of its focus on well-made games rather than more powerful hardware. This trend continues with the Wii U and to the Switch. It would be an understatement to say that the Switch is not a fast system by modern standards. This is the basis of why people think Tears of the Kingdom isn't worth it at $70. The performance will probably be the same as Breath of the Wild, 30 FPS at a lower resolution than native. To that I say, yeah, but you've clearly ignored the other aspects that make a game worth it. Remember the enjoyment level and hours played? Nintendo hasn't really shown much of the Tears of the Kingdom, and are keeping a majority of the game under wraps. Since we know that this game will be built upon the foundations of Breath of the Wild, I can guarantee that, like on my Switch, I guarantee people will spend a literal shit ton of hours binging this game, because I know I will. If they've been working on a sequel for the past 6 full years since Breath of the Wild, I expect this game to be jam-packed to the max of content. To me, this kind of makes the $70 price tag look good, because it could be Nintendo saying to all of us that this game is going to exceed our expectations. Or at least I hope so. With the February Direct that just happened, I watched the second trailer that Nintendo provided all of us Zelda fans, and it looks promising. The world is very much extended into the skies, the new runes, power-ups, or whatever you call them look cool, and we get a flying car? What more have they not shown us? Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is stop complaining. This $70 standard was a trend that we knew Nintendo would jump on at some point, but we didn't know when. And honestly, to me, it makes perfect sense. The most worked on and hyped game for Nintendo right now is Tears of the Kingdom. Why would they not switch to the $70 price tag during this game's launch? Probably because they know that there's nothing stopping me and many other people that love Breath of the Wild to death from wanting this game to be in their hands. What do you think? Tell me down below in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts.